just want me to talk about?
Yes, basically the need, the whole situation. They are at the very beginning of teacher training. Actually, this is only the first checkpoint for us. So they still have 2 to 3 more years before they really graduate. But I would like them to really, because whatever I say, I know you don't believe, okay, because I'm from higher ed, right? Even though I used to be a classroom teacher, okay, don't forget that. Yeah, but this is the reality. This is the real thing, okay?
Thank you. All right, well, I'm Allie Shore, and I work for Hoover School District in Fort Collins, but I am a part of the CASPA group, so I will speak for as many of us as I can. But the small part that I heard your professor say is all true. We will need about 3 times more the number of teachers that we are graduating in Colorado, but it's in certain areas. So I really do recommend that you get an added enrollment if there's any way that you can, either in CLE, ELA, or a high needs area like special education, math, those kinds of things. But there are ways that you can set yourself apart that are not, if that's not in the cards for you. I personally look for teachers who are going to better represent the kids who are in our schools right now. Because most of the teachers look like me in our district, and they have a background like me, and all of that. So I'm looking for people who have diverse backgrounds, speak a second language, have traveled internationally, have a cool background of sports, have coached, have done camp counseling, I don't know, stuff like that. So I'm trying to hire teachers always who will be better representatives of all of our kids who are in our schools, not just a few of our kids in schools. And I think I speak for most of the HR directors that I know in the state of Colorado by saying that's a big need for us right now. So do you want me to just open it to questions, or?
Yes, you can ask questions, and how you prepare yourself better, you still have 2 to 3 more years, Any questions related to?
Okay, we'll go here and then I can
So I'm a special education major,
Okay.
and I was wondering if this will make it look better if I can speak Spanish and
yeah.
ASL sign language fluently, because that's my
Yes.
goal by the time I graduate.
Yeah, so the question was, even if someone is already getting a special education endorsement, if a second language would be great, or a third language, sign language, or Spanish would be awesome. You'll have many, many, many offers if you speak Spanish, or any second language really, but especially Spanish right now, you will get a lot of offers. Yeah.
Out of all the subjects, which one is the most needed? If it makes sense, like out of reading, math, history, is math.
For the secondary level math, how many math majors do we have here?
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Sometimes I speak to classes and we have 0. There are none, so.
That's actually why I didn't mention ESL to the math, because you'll be hired, even though, the endorsement will help you become better teacher, but the math is the area, you're right.
Yes, math for sure. And I'm mostly in charge of hiring for secondary schools, so math is most difficult, special education for sure. But we hire in our district over 200 teachers every year, and we hire in every area. So we definitely do hire elementary teachers, social studies teachers, PE teachers, all of that. So you will have, there will be jobs available, whatever area you have. It's just, if you want to have a for sure job, I'd say math or special ed.
So before we move on to the next question, I want to piggyback on the Spanish part. I think it is still true, like some districts, I know Denver, if you speak Spanish, actually, they will offer the position with $10,000 more for salary.
Yeah, we don't have that in Fort Collins, but we're working on it. We're trying to get that. We're trying to get that passed through our negotiations process, which takes half of the year. So we're trying for the bilingual stipend. I can't imagine it's going to be 10,000, but I can hope, right?
But we're talking about 3 years down in the road.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So, do I have to formally learn a language to be able to put that down? Because I speak German since I was raised German. I'm school citizen, so like, do I need to be able to say that I took it in schools, or just the fact that I know it that way?
No, I would add it to your resume no matter what. Even if you, you know, if you just go and visit Spain or Mexico every summer and you pick it up, I would say that for sure. Or Germany, whatever.
But since-
put that. But if you could then take the endorsement exam, the place or praxis exam, I would say, why not?
So
Add
I'd be
it.
able to do that without taking any classes in it?
If you can pass the exam, yeah. Now, passing a language exam is not as easy as just speaking a language because you have to know the pedagogy behind being able to teach the language. So,
what's your content area right now?
History.
History. Okay, I would strongly recommend you, seek your history license and then try to take the test for German language actually. There's a praxis test which is for both language and pedagogy, but some of the pedagogy stuff you learn can also apply to teaching German. And from the last CASPA meeting in January actually, they say that schools are also desperate for foreign language teachers. And I asked which languages, of course they mentioned Chinese right away, okay? But then they say actually also German, also French, also Spanish, anyway, foreign languages, this whole nation needs foreign language teachers.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
If we're a special major or special education major already, would you still recommend getting an endorsement in something, or do you think it would?
I think you're gonna get a job. That's what I think, unless, you know, there are some major change that I don't anticipate. Yeah, I think you're good. But why not, you know, I think special education is one of those areas where people, it's very difficult work. Very, very hard work. People get tired. And that sometimes they want to move out and they want to teach something else. So if you're here and you have the time in your schedule, I would definitely recommend it.
I give you a suggestion, if you do have free electives, probably want to take on the CLD endorsement because a lot of schools are looking for people who can work for both special ed and CLD students. Actually, at our master's level right now, graduate program, UNC has just established a new master's degree for teachers to be endorsed in both special ed and the CLD because of the needs from the field.
What is CLD?
Oh, culturally and linguistically diverse, which really the equivalent of ESL. Yeah, people probably understand ESL better, English as a second language, but in Colorado we call it CLD. Okay.
Yeah. There and then up there.
This is kind of making me nervous.
That's not the intention.
I'm a history education to secondary. I don't speak no German.
Okay.
I am I'm
Okay.
African and I speak 3 languages, but it's like African language is not very needed and common. So will I have to?
You know, I would say, I personally look for someone who's going to connect with our students in a way that maybe other people haven't been able to connect with our students, or have just a different background. You know, I consider Fort Collins pretty small and pretty homogenous, and we still have over 30 languages spoken in our by the students in our district, even in Fort Collins, which I consider, like I said, pretty small. So we always need people who are going to speak all kinds of languages or have all kinds of experiences and backgrounds and things like that. So, I mean, we're not here to scare you or anything. I think I mean, her job is to, you know, get you jobs, really, and my job is to hire the best people. So, well, I mean, you can't, you know, if she's not preparing teachers who are going to get jobs, it doesn't look good, right? And it doesn't feel good.
I want all of you to be hired.
That's right. So I'm just giving you some tips on being.
Actually, one piece of suggestion from me in your situation, you anyway speak other languages, so you really understand the second language process. If you have free electives, I would strongly suggest you take some courses for ESL endorsement, CLD endorsement. Because social studies quite often, when you have that endorsement, you stand out among social study candidates. And plus, okay, keep that in mind. To get CLD endorsement, you don't need to be fluent in any other language. You just need to have experience of another language so that you understand the struggles of the students. Okay, bilingual teachers are different. They have to speak 2 languages fluently. But CLD, no, doesn't require that.
Yes.
So I'm an elementary ed major with a concentration in ESL.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing as the CLD endorsement?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you got it. You have already
switching right now, I think. right? The names are changing.
Right. Actually, it's called the ESL CLD endorsement.
Oh,
Yeah, the state called it CLD, but the professors decide to still keep the ESL part because nationwide and internationally, people don't understand CLD, they know ESL. Yeah.
So I've seen for our licensing exams and things like that, we have the option to either take the praxis or the place. I'm trying to understand what the difference is between which test I should be taking.
Well, how many of you were thinking you might go out of state? You might want to leave Colorado sometime, right? Then I would say take the praxis. I mean, I don't know.
Well-
the praxis is the national national test,
Yeah.
and the
That's what I would like to say too. The place actually was specifically created for Colorado. And somehow that test has not been updated for a number of years. So some of the test questions are outdated. The answers you give actually could be different from what you have learned from UNC because our program is more updated. So some of the students, especially early childhood, they have such a difficult time passing the place because when we teach them, it's not aligned with the old test items. However, in some other areas, some people say the praxis are more difficult. So it depends again, yeah. But if you're really thinking about nationwide usefulness, yeah, I'm totally with Ms. Shore. Take the praxis.
especially if it's for an added endorsement, because another state
Right.
might want to see that.
Oh, another thing, you need to prepare for your test, doesn't matter place or praxis, because you are not allowed to get into student teaching at all without passing the test. That's the UNC rule. We seldom make exceptions. Some of you need to take it only once to pass. Some of you may need to take it 5 times. Okay, so you have to know what kind of test taker you are. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go there and over there, and then I'll forget. Did I miss anyone? Did I already?
I just want to make a comment about the place and praxis. You definitely want to check with your major area to see if you're required to take one or the other. Because there's a few select majors that have to take the place, and others have the option of place or praxis. So just make sure you check with your advisor to make sure you're taking the right test and you're ready for it.
There's no logic behind this rule, but it's the state rule.
Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, the state rule.
I don't remember who I called out.
Yeah.
What extra steps do we need to teach to the national schools?
What extra steps do you need to take?
You
No,
need
I don't
to-
know. They're all so different. You mean before to student teach?
Not necessarily.
If you're talking about teaching outside the country, you need to have good GPA. What's the GPA requirement for teaching internationally, student teaching abroad? I think there's a 3.5 or whatever. There's a GPA requirement because you are so far away. You know, we want you to be able to do it yourself. But yeah, well, I'll talk about international student teaching a bit later today. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that there are a lot of universities around the country who are requiring international student teaching, or at least an international program, and I think it's great. Why not do it while you can, before you get settled in, and or maybe some of you are already settled in, but why not do it? Because it's great, and if you'll be a better person. I don't know who would say that international travel does not make you a better person. I don't know anyone who would say that, but that's just me. So I forgot to come down here, that's what I heard.
Bruce, just for arts teachers like theater education and things like that, what is obviously the rumor, so to speak, is that's going to be almost impossible without some sort of backup plan, without some sort of, oh, look what else I can do. What out of all of these different options will help an arts teacher specifically sort of find their way into where they want to work?
Good, and you know, that's a great question. What is going to set you apart and help you get a job in whatever you want to do? Because we do hire speech teachers and theater teachers, we hire art teachers, we hire elementary teachers, a lot of them. So the best thing that you can do is to consider every minute from now on that you are in a school, including this school here, but in the schools, as an interview. Okay? Consider every minute that you're there as an interview. So when you are talking to kids in the hall, you are extremely professional, you're very friendly, you're getting involved with them. You're friendly, but you're not their friend. You're really going to the games that are being played, the theater productions, the musicals. You're going to Science Olympiad, you're going to the sock hop, you're doing parent-teacher conferences, even if you're not required to. You're doing all kinds of things. When you're in the lunchroom with the other teachers, you're very professional, you're asking questions, you're open-minded. You're not a know-it-all, you offer ideas but not, pushing them all the way through. You're making yourself indispensable, which is what you do in any job, anywhere, whether you're waiting tables or teaching or whatever it is that you're doing. You want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can all the time. So that means that you're not showing up at a football game drunk and being loud and obnoxious, right?
Don't get arrested. Yeah, last time they said don't get arrested.
That was a big topic last time. It was a big topic.
I just remember one of the CASPA, person
Right.
said, don't get arrested.
Don't come in your pajamas. Don't let the kids see you getting crazy. From now on, consider yourself a teacher and you go out of town to let loose. And you go out of town far. Because the first time I went to Mexico, we had a student who was in my husband's class in the hotel room right next to us. It was quite a bummer, I have to say, the first, until that kid left. Sorry. Who wants to be in their bathing suit next to their students, right? Not me. So, just make sure you're going far, far away for you to let loose. From now on, just think of it from now on. Yes, we'll go up there and then we'll come back down here.
So what's the difference between interviewing for a public school position and a private or charter school position?
Well, the biggest difference is that for a public school, you have to have a teaching license. For a private or a charter, you don't necessarily have to have, not for all of them, have to have a teaching license. You have to be highly qualified, although that's up in the air as well right now. TD has to make new rules, and I guess it's NCOB who's really making the new rules, but we can catch up in Colorado. I think for whatever you're doing, whatever you're interviewing for, make sure that you know the school and that you know the district that you're interviewing for, so that you don't just go in and say whatever is your philosophy, but that if you're going to a charter school that teaches core knowledge, you really know and believe in the philosophy of core knowledge, and you know what the curriculum looks like, you know what the theory behind it is. If you're going to a bilingual school, that you know that the actual bilingual program that they use or the way that they teach different than a dual language or whatever it is, and that you know something about the school where you're interviewing, about maybe even the department. You could say something like, gosh, I saw that your science department won the Science Olympiad or Science Bowl, whatever, for the last 5 years in a row. Can you tell me how you prepare the kids and how I might get involved with that, or something like that, so that you're really setting yourself apart from the other candidates who maybe not do that. So really it's no different wherever you are. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
How much does having connections help? Because my mom's really good friends with the director of the school who's in charge of hiring yearly Louisville area and Boulder area. And I'm just curious how much that'll help.
Connections can help you and hurt you. So it depends, were you kind of wild? Then your mom goes to the lunchroom and complains about, like how crazy you and your friends were, then it's not going to help you. But generally speaking, connections help all the time. I mean, they always help. So if I've seen people, who coached together get jobs. I've seen people who, made connections in the lunchroom where they were get jobs. So, I think it's presenting yourself very professionally and very seriously all the time from now on. And if you're not ready to do that right now, that's fine. You don't have to be ready right now. I wasn't ready when I was in my 20s to become a teacher, and that's worked out great for me. So, yeah.
So another one of those things that I've heard tossed around a lot, but the highly qualified, how do you become a highly qualified teacher now, and then once you are classified as a highly qualified teacher, how do you keep that, once you're out?
Well, highly qualified is really a No Child Left Behind rule, and that's sort of going away right now, but I think the state is going to have the same rules. So it means that you have to have 24 specific credit hours in your content area. So you're probably already on the right track. You know, your university's not gonna let you get to student teaching and find out that you don't have enough of your coursework.
Basically, when you are highly qualified, actually, probably, I wouldn't say you are not, in fact, not as well prepared as those with the license, right? But in reality is that when you are highly qualified, it does not mean you are up to the level of having a license, because the requirement is lower. And the new act is no longer no lecture behind. The new act is called the Every Student Succeed Act, ESSA. And that's what Ms. Shore is talking about. The state is going to look into what it means to be highly qualified. Yeah. And also, I think in the areas, the high need areas, they hire more highly qualified teachers, right?
Well, we still, you know, we are still going for 100% highly qualified. So we're really close. We have hired one very, very late teacher, but wasn't highly qualified in the area that she's teaching, but she's working on it. So it's 1 out of, you know, 2,000 teachers. So we